Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy BB2727 here, and welcome to the DKOldies Iceberg. So, I know the last video was an iceberg, and since then I've done a bunch of streams, and I haven't really been posting any actual videos. This was a video I actually wanted to do, so I kind of threw it together. I thought it'd be a pretty funny idea. If you guys don't know what DKOldies.com is, it's a video game like retro store, where basically there's a lot of lore to it and characters, and it's like a scam, and a bunch of people are making videos about it because like the owner, Joey isn't the owner, but like people are saying, oh, Joey's scamming people because like he's in all the videos, so they just think he's the one doing the scamming. But basically, the website, if you go to it, has a bunch of ridiculous prices, and everything is claimed to be refurbished, but it's not. So basically, I'm going to be explaining pretty much everything on this iceberg I made for DKOldies and the lore. I'm actually pretty excited to make this video. I know it may seem kind of stupid, but and to be honest, it is a little bit trollish of an iceberg, but we are going to explain all of it. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Alright, so starting off with the first couple tiers, we got the sky. Now, this is going to be the most well-known stuff on the iceberg. Obviously, as we go down, there'll be, more unknown stuff about DKOldies and its lore. So starting off, we got DKOldies.com. If you guys don't know DKOldies, obviously they have the official website. That's all this is referring to. This is where you buy the games and basically just get scammed. Then we got Joey. Joey is this guy right here. He is like the front man of DKOldies' YouTube channel and the TikTok and all the other stuff. He's actually not the owner of the store, though. A lot of people harass him because they think he's the owner and they think he's like causing all these problems that we'll get to on this iceberg, but he's actually not the owner. But yeah, that's Joey. He's basically like the big front man, hype man for DKOldies. DKOldies YouTube channel. So the DKOldies YouTube channel, this one's referring to just the YouTube channel where they post their shorts and their videos talking about how they refurbish consoles and this and that and like showing people's orders and stuff. That's basically all this one's referring to. Quote-unquote refurbished consoles. This one's referring to how they claim that all their consoles that they're selling to people are refurbished, which basically just means like cleaned, clean out the dust, clean out any dirt, make sure it's good and ready to be played and used and it's clean. But they actually never do. They sell like a lot of dirty consoles and broken consoles, and it's just not, it's a huge scam, it's ridiculous, and refurbished is basically just a lie. Drew. Drew is referring to the actual owner of DKOldies, aka like the big, the real villain of the DKOldies lore. Drew is the guy with the glasses, black hair. You rarely ever see Drew nowadays in the video, but in their older videos, you actually get to see him a lot, which is where some of the later tiers kind of explore. But yeah. High prices. High prices is referring to the ridiculous prices on DKOldies' website. I'm talking like a GameCube for $400, a Nintendo Wii for over $200. Just stuff that's just insane, where you can buy this stuff anywhere else and get it way cheaper and not be getting scammed. This place has the highest prices I've seen. Scam. Scam is referring to, well, it's a big scam, basically. There's not much to say there. Moving on to Tier 2, we have Anthony. Anthony is referring to one of the employees at DKOldies. He's been in a lot of videos throughout the years. He was also in their podcast, which we'll explain a little bit later. But Anthony's basically just a pretty well-known employee there, and he has a lot of lore to him, too. But he's, like, pretty passionate about DKOldies. But the way he's treated there is kind of sad. DKOldies TikTok. This one's referring to their TikTok account where they also kind of do what they do on YouTube, just show people's orders, go around, talk about DKOldies, it's basically Joey again. Jacob R. Jacob R is referring to a YouTuber who actually purchased a Xbox, I believe it was, that was quote-unquote refurbished, and it was not. He opened it up the Xbox, it was dirty, it was not cleaned, it was kind of ridiculous. It was a pretty funny video because it just shows how bad the website is. Quote-unquote, your order was picked to be filmed. So your order was picked to be filmed. Basically, this is just a quote from most of their videos, and, like, it's just referring to all their shorts, how, like, when Joey's, riding around the store in the Joey cart, and he's, like, grabbing stuff off the shelf, he's like, your order was picked to be filmed. Like, it's just a joke. It's like a thing from their videos. Jigsaw. Jigsaw is talking about a worker or former employee of DKOldies who has been, he's quit now for a good couple of years, but he has his own YouTube channel where he actually disses DKOldies a lot and talks about stories while working there, and oh my god, this computer. Talks about stories, while he was working there and just stuff like that, but there's more lore behind him later on. Broken consoles. Broken consoles is referring to how sometimes these consoles won't even load the games, they won't turn on, nothing will even work when you plug it in. There's actually been reports of people having like cuts in the wires and stuff like that. It's been kind of ridiculous. So sometimes instead of just like a dirty console, they'll give you a full-on broken console. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, bonus. Bonus is referring to how Joey will put a bonus in the people's orders. So like kind of back to the whole your order was picked to be filmed thing. This is like sometimes what Joey will do is since it's being filmed, he'll throw in like a little bonus, like a keychain or an extra video game sometimes. But yeah. Review Tech USA. Review Tech USA is a pretty big YouTube channel, basically just covering gaming news, stuff like that. But recently they've been making tons of videos on DKOldies and Joey himself, and just exposing them and going on and on about them. But they're pretty big in the DKOldies lore because they've been making so many hate videos, which has been just getting tons of views, and everyone's freaking out at DKOldies about it. DKOldies exposed. So basically, this is just talking about how the website's exposed. A bunch of people are making videos exposing the owners and the game consoles, just all stuff like that. It's become like a big trend as of late. Always being on sale. Always being on sale is referring to how all their consoles on the website, at least most things on the website, are just on sale like forever. They're not even like technically on sale. They're just always the same price, but it says it's on sale. That's all that's referring to. DKOldies podcast. So the podcast was something that started like 7-8 years ago on the DKOldies YouTube channel. And this was basically with a few people and a few characters in the lore, like Anthony and Drew. They just answer questions and just stuff like that, and talking about DKOldies and how it came to be and blah, blah, blah. It's like a big podcast. So now for Tier 3. Tier 3 starts off with a pretty big one. Drew bullies employees. So if you guys don't know, again, Drew's the owner. And there's a video of like a tour of the office of DKOldies' office and all the workers and stuff. It's a tour video where he walks around, basically the owner, and films his employees working, bothers them, harasses them, just kind of gets on their nerves. You know what I mean? And sorry, I lost my train of thought there. They're basically the big employee that he bothers the most in this video is Anthony, which that's kind of why he's pretty relevant, because it's like an infamous video. This thing came out a long time ago, but nowadays like people are finding it and just exposing it and exposing Drew and how bad of an owner he is, all this stuff. But yeah, this video is kind of depressing. It's a little funny with the interaction between Drew and Anthony, but it's also kind of toxic. It's you feel pretty bad for Anthony. He gets treated pretty poorly here. Anthony's drinking problem. So this one's referring to how people somehow found out that the employee Anthony I don't know how they found this out. The employee Anthony began having to drink a lot of beer and stuff to make it through his day and deal with Drew and just the overall DKOldies place, and it's pretty depressing. He apparently has like a drinking thing going on. Mr. Beast bought games. So this is talking about how Mr. Beast actually purchased a bunch of games from their website. Joey himself made a YouTube short about Mr. Beast buying the games and how he got the call and everything and didn't know who it was from. And later on, Mr. Beast dropped a video basically showing the same consoles he purchased off of DKOldies. Sam is referring to one YouTube short on DKOldies' channel where this guy named Sam is trying to guess like what he's holding in his hand. So basically, I have like a Game Boy or a GameCube or a PS3 or whatever, and he tries to guess what he's holding, and he nails it on every single one of them. It's like some psychic shit. Like he nails it back to back to back. It's crazy. Messy work environment. So messy work environment is referring to how just the overall DKOldies work environment's not very good. There's boxes everywhere. There's stuff everywhere. Jigsaw, if you guys may remember, made a few videos talking about how it was just really difficult to work there and how it was always kind of a mess. DKOldies store location. This one's talking about just the DKOldies store location, how people found it, made some videos about it, went there, stuff like that. It's nothing too crazy, but I figured I'd put it on Tier 3 because, it's just videos of the store location. Moving on to Tier 4, this one's a little bit crazy, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit trollish, but we'll just get through it. A DKOldies death threat. So this one's talking about the most popular video on the DKOldies channel, where Joey talks about a death threat he received from a guy named Walnut Head, and how, people shouldn't be doing that, and how he's taking it very seriously and calling the police and all that. It's pretty sad. It's a pretty sad situation, but it's also just so ridiculous. Walnut Head is kind of just talking about the last entry. It's the Walnut Head was the guy who made the death threat to DKOldies and Joey, and that's all he kind of is. He's like a villain in the anime. Joey did 9/11. I can't even say that shit with a straight face. So this one's obviously a very trollish entry. Obviously, Joey didn't do that. It's just talking about how, like, most of these icebergs will have something ridiculous on the bottom or near the ending, and that's kind of what this one is. Joey being held hostage. This one's talking about how in a few videos, like, people in the comments will be like, blink twice if they're holding you hostage, Joey, and we know you don't want to be there, and how it seems like Joey's just kind of faking for the camera on how excited he is to be there and work there and, do the orders and all that stuff, and when he really isn't, but, yeah. Jigsaw got doxxed. So Jigsaw, again, he's a YouTuber, that former employee, DKOldies. He actually was recently doxxed in his comment section, which is why he turned off all his comments. Somebody, I guess, who knew him just randomly put his address out there, and it was pretty crazy, the situation, actually. Drew destroys real GBA. So in one YouTube short on the DKOldies channel, Drew, the owner, and a few other people from DKOldies had this Game Boy Advance, I believe it was, and they started just smashing it and destroying it. It was actually like a real GBA, like a good one, and just destroys it for like no reason, smashes it with like a bat. It's kind of stupid, but yeah. Final tier of the iceberg, fake videos. So the fake videos is referring to how a lot of the videos seem scripted, and it's basically talking about how in most of the videos they will be showing how they're cleaning a console and sending it out to somebody, but in reality they never do that. So they put on a facade on how you're going to get refurbished consoles, but you never actually get them. You get consoles that look like this with scratches and stuff everywhere. Every DKOldies purchase is personalized. So this is technically true, but, obviously it's a meme on the iceberg meme. Every iceberg has to have this, but that's kind of all it is. I'm not going to really go in deep into that one. The Joey cart. So the Joey cart's pretty interesting. It doesn't really get talked about by a lot of people in the Joey DKOldies like universe, but this was in a few videos where he can be seen riding around on his like Mario Kart type thing that he's made himself, and he like grabs all these different games off the shelf and he talks about how he's gonna like get the order out to people. It's like basically he calls it the Joey cart and he like drives around the store and shit. It's pretty cool. And finally, Drew admits it's a scam. So this one's actually pretty interesting. In the first episode of the podcast, Anthony and Drew are talking about how DKOldies came to be, and Drew is kind of talking about how he was, I think, like a car salesman, I believe it was, and he talks about how he was like flipping prices on people and basically kind of like scamming people. So he basically admits that like the whole origin of DKOldies came from scamming people. And it's funny because obviously that's kind of what they do. I'm not trying to throw any shade at them, but like they literally do scam people. I'm not gonna lie. And Drew, it's funny how that long ago on the first podcast episode he talks about how like that's what it came from. He doesn't obviously say it's a scam. It's kind of a meme entry on here, but he basically implies that that's, like that was the origin of it, I guess. So that's about it. That's the DKOldies iceberg explained. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit your boy up later. Let me know if you want more iceberg videos. This one's very trollish, I know. It kind of made me laugh when I was making it, but I actually enjoyed making it a lot, I can't lie. I've been very invested in the whole DKOldies drama and lore. And it's been very interesting finding out about all this stuff over the past couple weeks. So, yeah, that's about it. Let me know if you want more, and peace out. Stay lit. I don't know if I'm going to stream tonight or not, by the way.